Okay, I'm doing a starter on a 92 Toyota Corolla. And, it's kind of a bitch. It seems worse at first, but then when you get into it, it's not that bad. Let me give you a quick background, because you may be in a similar situation. What this car is doing is it would start fine for days, and then erratically, it would just not start. But it would always start with a jump. Good battery, good everything else. The old, fucked up shit going on. Well, basically, the ground wire that goes on the back of the starter, it had gotten loose, which is actually a very, very, very common reason for that. Because if it wouldn't start and the alternator was bad, it would have, killed the battery. And the battery wouldn't test good if the battery was good. And, even though there's some stuff in the solenoid that can do weird shit, like a pigtail burning out, usually 9 out of 10 times, it's that ground wire. And the bitch is, on this vehicle, that starter, let me try to give you a good view. I'm on the driver's side here. It is on the back. You find the transmission here, and it's right in front. I can't even show you. You can kind of see it. There you go. See that new starter? But if you went to the left, literally hugging the block is where the ground cable bolts onto. So if you need to check that or clean it or tighten it, starter has to come off the block to be able to do that. That sucks. So at any rate, I found that, and I said, you know what? It's enough work doing this starter. It's old. I don't know the history on it. I don't know the mileage. I'm like, fuck it. For $75, I'm going to put a new one on, have a warranty, and have the peace of mind. This is my daughter's that I put together for her, and she's scooting around for college, driving all over the fucking world, and I want her to be solid. Because there's nothing more embarrassing than when your daughter breaks down in the car that you fucking wrenched on. But, at any rate, so let me show you here. Okay, first off, the first starter bolt I want to show you, I got to try to get some good light on it, and that's probably not going to happen. And this is kind of the hidden one. That's the top bolt to the starter. Now you'll have this harness that's in the way, and basically you can get your 6-inch extension, which is what I use, 6-inch 3S extension. It's a 14 millimeter bolt. Both of the main starter bolts that hold it on, you just pull that up, you go underneath, and it's right there. So if you find this part, which is a green connector, you're good to go. Mind you, to get to that, you got to move your air cleaner box and your mass airflow sensor, which I'll give you just a quick overview of that when I put it back on. But this is really just to kind of help you out and give you the tips to make this go quicker for you, because that one took a few minutes to find. So it's nice if somebody shows you where it is. Because the only other asshole that has a video on this is doing it with the fucking engine already out of the car. Like that fucking helps anyone. But at any rate, let's go underneath. Now, your hot wire, and we're not going to have very good light here, and I can't hold a flashlight because it's too cramped up. But if you look here, and I'm dead center under the car, okay? Your hot wire is right there, 13 millimeters, okay? I took off a reman and I put on a reman, and they both had 13 millimeters. So if you got your factory fastener, it may or may not be 13. And then there's this clip right here that clips right next to it. You'll see a little square in the middle of the clip. You got to put something in there to depress it to be able to pull this out. And that's what goes to your starter relay and shit, right? So what I used was a long screwdriver, like an 18-inch screwdriver with a small little head that I was able to push in there. And while you're pushing in there, you push this in, you depress that in that little window with the screwdriver, and then pull this out. Now, mind you, there's not a lot of room. Okay, here's my driver's tire. and you got all this shit in the way, and this doesn't bolt off, this part of the fucking, if they'd even call it a K-frame. And then you got your beautiful fucking rack and pinion shit going on up here with your inner tie rod, which if you did move the inner tie rod, it's a lot easier. And if you're a big guy with really big arms, you may have to do that. So I weigh 200 pounds and I got decent sized forearms, but little wrists. And I was able to do all this. So what I wanted to show you, and again, the lighting's really bad. I'm going to pause this and get better lighting. Okay, I got my light moved. Sorry about that. So there's your power steering, right there. Your front of the engine, the dampener, oil pan. So here you go. I'm on the passenger side looking in. You have to come from here, and I'd say that's about a good 4 inches even further back than this. So it's really hard to get in there. Now, getting it out, take the bottom bolt out first. Okay, and what I used was about 18 inches worth of extension. Right? I just threw together some of them. I got my 3-inch to the right. I got my, what is that? My 8-inch or 9-inch in the center and a 6-inch on the end. 14 millimeter. And I know the camera angle's bad. You're not getting a tripod down here. This shit's tight. Okay, can you kind of see where I got it on? No, because I'm not getting the camera on there. This is what sucks. And it sucks for light too, because you're going to block everything. There you go. You can kind of see where that is. Let me try to move over more. There's your bolt. So with the extensions, you can loosen it from here. Okay. And then when you go to tighten that motherfucker, okay, let me back up. Take the lower one out. Then take the upper one out. Starter comes out. And it can slide out right through this hole. It just barely fits, okay? When you put the starter back on, you can't get the top one on first unless if you have a friend holding this. What I found, and again, it depends on how big your arms are, I was able to take my left hand through here, hold the starter in the place, and then use my right hand through this side to be able to literally put the bolt in there. And once I put it in there, I was able to get my extension on there, hand twirl it, and then I was able to wrench it down, which I used an an air ratchet, and I made it a little easier. So that's pretty much the trick. You're also going to want to undo the 2 fasteners on this plastic shroud to be able to do that, which you'll have one right there, and you'll have one right there. So that's going to open up all this for you to get your right arm in there. I didn't need to do that taking it out, but putting it back in because I had to hold it. Or if you wanted to take this out and you didn't want it to fall 3 inches and you wanted to hold it when you took it out, you know, you would want to have that shroud open. So I'm trying to think. I know there was something else I wanted to add. Oh, the cleaning. You don't have a lot of room, and more than likely your positive cable over here, let me get that angle again since I got so much fucking room. That positive cable, and it's a little blurry right there, you're going to want to clean that up because it's going to be corroded. What I found, I was going to use a little wire brush, but you can, if you got a pneumatic drill, check this shit out. You can get the pneumatic drill in there. An electric drill is probably not going to make it. Maybe something with a lithium battery that's small, like those little green Hitachis like you may have seen me use in other videos. But then, I was able to clean that off before I put it on there. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut you off, and then when I get this air box back on, you'll be good to go. Alrighty, so to do the starter, you had the air box all ripped out. And of course, this video is kind of in the reverse steps because I did the starter first. And then I showed you because I had to fuck with it myself to make a nice fluid video. But basically, and as you can see, the owner before me broke this bolt off. You got 1, 2, 3, Okay, and see that air ducting? See how good this goes with the camera in my hands, right? Okay. I'm in my air ducting, and I line up those 3 holes, right? I'm going to go ahead and put 2 of them in. You'll be doing 3, hopefully. Okay, so I got my 2 or 3 screws in. It's all solid, right? You're going to have your air filter. They look different depending on the brand, but they essentially do the same thing. Now, I got my top cover, which I haven't blown that one out yet, so I'm going to blow that one out with air, you know. Vacuum them, blow them, make them clean. Alrighty, first you fish it into this neck here, and then mine's still loose, and I'm going to have tabs. 1, 2, 3, and you can't see it, but they're to that corner. I'm hitting it 4. After you put those tabs in, I'm going to have to rearrange the light. Let me close mine up and then I'll rearrange my light. Okay, so I got my 4 corners. Next thing I'm going to want to do, and you still don't have very good light. There we go. You got what I believe is an IAC sensor, IAC. At least that's what it would be on American cars. We're going to plug that back in. Because when you go to take the top off, you're going to undo that IAC, and then you got that little hose clamp type retainer that puts the neck onto the casing. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up. Alrighty, I just got done tightening mine. So again, to get this off, you undo this with like a number 2 Phillips, or whatever Phillips that fits. You unplug this sensor, which if you can't really see, now you can see. You depress that little clip, depress, pull. Then you do your 4 corners. You're going to have to pop this up, work it off the neck, and then kind of work it out, which you either have to hold this up or have an assistant do that. This right here is just kind of like that. You may have to move that depending on your setup. And I think that's about it. Alrighty. If I left anything out, I'll add it. Thanks for watching.